Hey, bro.
Puts me in a good mood. Now I'm ready to start. Let's start.
That's like the best countdown. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop.
Yeah.
We are live. We're going live.
Going live. We're live. Woo!
All right. Welcome, everybody, our millions of fans out there in the global earth. Adam Zembruski, Matt Zembruski, brothers from the same mother. We have a pretty awesome show today. We have one of our regular guests, and I'll say one of my favorite guests. She's actually one of the original inspirations from this because she was our second full episode. This is Evelyn Barnes-Willingham from Alabama, the hospitality leader of leaders, the mentor of mentors. I'm so excited for her to be joining us. She'll be here in probably a few minutes. A dream of mine, bro, is, we've had about 40 or so guests, maybe more. This is episode number 41.
Yeah.
And a dream is to have like a convention or just a gathering. Maybe it can be virtual, but we all get together.
Yeah.
Because most of these folks don't know each other, except through you or through me, and that's makes me tear up sometimes when I see that happening in person.
Yeah.
When someone says, "Oh, I met so and so through you," or "I met so and so through that person," it's just a beautiful thing in all businesses, and that's kind of what we're doing here. So. Evelyn is part of that story because I know that several people that have been on our show have reached out to her to say hello. John St. Omer is one of them, another inspirational hospitality hotel general manager, leader. Mark Alvarez, another one. I know that they've all connected and talked with each other. Yeah, pretty cool. I like that. And so Evelyn is joining us.
When you look up people who move in Wikipedia, you're going to see all those people you just named with Evelyn right on top and all the people she's shared and all the people she's inspired. That's what someone's got to do an update to the Wikipedia page. People who move should show all our guests. Period.
That's I love that, and I've been kind of obsessed with the idea of doing something like that. And we will make it happen.
That's awesome.
So, bro, we're going to talk a little bit about
QA.
QA, all right, and what it means to the world, what it means to me, and what it means to Evelyn in the hotel and hospitality business.
It's in quality. The too, by the way.
What's that?
It's in the software and agile space as well.
I know, and I'm just like the term development, right? Development in hotels means you're in land development and building development. You're thinking about design and the size. Development means a very different thing in the world. If you're an email developer, you're not building a building; you're building something else. So I love all that. So I'll give you a quick 1, 2, 3 about what QA, quality assurance, means mostly in the hotel industry, right? So, and I will tell you that actually a little bit has to do with the difference between if you're running, if you're an owner or a franchisee, or if you own a management company with hundreds of hotels, or if you're managing one hotel that might be with a brand like Marriott or with no brand at all. I've had one of the most amazing experiences in my career with an independent hotel, as you know, and I'm wearing the shirt. I'm going to do a quick little.
Yeah, Irish Cottage Inn and Suites
in Galena, Illinois, and so I made a LinkedIn post a few weeks ago that this little town, cozy little town of Galena, and the relationships that I've been invited into, it's been like career changing and life changing, and I'm not even exaggerating. A shout out to Griffin Hotel Management out of Chicago. They're managing this hotel. A shout out to Stonebridge Investment Group. All of them got together and bought this hotel. They're managing it and they own it, and it's been a few years. I'm very fortunate to be involved to help oversee it. And it's a full-on independent hotel. Okay, so that means completely unaffiliated with any franchise brand. So the quality assurance is up to whom? Us. It's up to the people who own and operate this hotel. Inspections, things like that. So if you are affiliated with a brand, as we call it, that means there is a franchisor, which I'll use as an example, Courtyard by Marriott. Okay, so Courtyard by Marriott's for the most, there is about 1,500 or so. There's like 2,200 Hampton Inns in the United States, in global. So just for your own perspective and scope, most of those hotels are franchised.
Yep.
Most of those brands. They're operated, or the people that work at those hotels are employees of an independent hotel management company that may or may not be the franchisee. So you got some owners over here that sign up with a Hampton Inn or sign up with Hilton to say, hey, I want to put I want to take over this hotel or build a hotel with a Hampton Inn flag on it.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, you're going to have to apply to become a franchisee, and it's like $1 billion. I'm kidding. It's not as much as people might think.
Yeah.
To apply, and then you get approved, and it's the whole process. Well, part of that process is the FDD, and that's the franchise disclosure document.
Okay.
And it's thick, man. It is. And, Marriott and Hilton, they pretty much wrote the SOP manuals for franchising, and in a very good way. And they have kept their standards, SOPs, quality standards, quality assurance, in my opinion, at the highest of levels. It's not a competition versus other brands, but they have consistently, over my almost 30-year career, kept their quality standards very high.
Marriott and Hilton?
Marriott and Hilton. Many others too, but just those are the two that I have the most experience with from a branding perspective, and a former franchisee, a current franchisee actually also. And so quality assurance in the hotel industry is related to most people when they say QA, bro, is QA is coming, right? We're due for a QA next month. So what do we got to do? It's a quality assurance exam, audit, inspection. It's where, I'll use Hampton Inn as an example. It's where a member of Hilton comes in with a stack of checklists, and it could sometimes be a couple days, and they check everything. It's not just visual inspections. Wow. They check all your training documentation. They get a list of all your current employees to make sure that they've been trained in the latest human resources compliance training. Like human trafficking is obviously a hot topic. These brands have developed their own training and awareness programs to allow employees to spot suspicious characters or spot behaviors and like the signs that they have if they're in trouble. It's amazing. Cool. And so as part of their quality assurance, they check, right? There's, as a hotel general manager that Evelyn has been for a while with Marriott and now Hilton. Yep. She's very experienced in QAs, and it's intense. And I've been a little judgmental about QAs in general because it's, as a general or former general manager, it's disruptive to your operation. Yeah. But I'll as I've grown in my life and career in hotels, it's the best. It's so good that those standards stay high. Yeah. Because again, 60,000 hotels in the United States, and they're not all branded, they're not all franchised, but of the ones that have a Marriott, a Wyndham, a Hilton, a Hyatt, IHG, Holiday Inn flag on it, most of them are franchises, and they're operated by independent franchisees. And same way that McDonald's is, right? How does McDonald's make sure that all the burgers are cooked to a certain internal temperature to make sure that people don't get sick.
Yep,
It's all standards. Yeah, they all have the QAs and standards. And if you're a franchisee,
and then the QA is to validate that you're abiding by that book, that you're complying with that big book of standards. Is that essentially what it is, bro?
That's what it is. And they inspect. They have, big book. Big amount of and you agree to that when you sign up, right? Yeah. So it's like it's a huge responsibility. And when I say that the groups like Marriott and Hilton have kept their standards up, they've also kept their
QA up.
Yeah, QA up, but let me say that in a decent way. They don't mess around, right? So they'll, if you're a franchisee and you're not complying regularly,
yeah,
and they see that your internal temperatures of the buffet are out there, or just you're not even checking temperatures of refrigerators, they will give you a slap on the wrist. They will give you a second, a third, a fourth warning. But eventually, if you're not doing it, you're out. And that's not the case with all these other brands out there. So look at the celebrity that we have with us today, y'all.
Hey, welcome, Evelyn Barnes-Willingham, people who move, number one.
The mover, the original mover and shaker.
Hello, I missed y'all. I've been so busy.
Busy. I'm so glad you're here. I'm giving my brother, and he's going to give us a little tutorial in a minute from his industry, but I'm telling my brother Matt about what QA is in our industry. And it means different things in different industries. And I wanted to celebrate you for a quick moment because we'll eventually say, hey, how's it going, Evelyn, and have you tell us about what's going on. But you recently had a big win that you shared on LinkedIn. And so we are LinkedIn Live, so shout out to LinkedIn. Related to hashtag QA. I was so excited for you. Can you tell us about what that recent, those wins are?
Well, so we had, for the first time in my career, 2 QAs at 2 hotels.
Oh, in one day?
No, well, they was both scheduled for the 13th of February. It is a general manager at that property, but I help oversee 4. So I want to be there. I want to be there for support for him at his property. So our auditor, they rescheduled for us so we can, that was really special that they done that for us. So I was able to go to that one and then have mine on Friday. So on Tuesday, the 13th, we made a 95 at that property, a 99 in cleanliness. That is a 3-year-old property. But in Decatur, at my property, we had a 88, which is lower, but our property is 7 years old. The great thing is it was just a point 1.17 away from outstanding QA. And outstanding is the top that you could get in the brand, which is 90 and above. So one property got an outstanding. We was happy about that. And my property, we're coming up on renovation. We're still holding. We're still keeping it up. We had a 96 in cleanliness and an 88 overall.
Wow, that's huge. So let me just give my bro a little bit about, so that it's broken out in multiple sections, but it's big picture. You have the training and compliance, and then you've got the cleanliness score, and then you've got the product score, right? The everything in working order. So you can get a point off if they walk in and they see that the many points off maybe if the bedspread has like a stain on it. Right. And so that's a cleanliness thing. That's something that could have been cleaned and it wasn't. If the light switch doesn't work, that's a product issue. That it's something that's not in working order, and that should have been inspected before they walked in. And I was telling my brother about the compliance. So when you got a hotel that's 7 years old, 7 years is a big number with hotels, because that's around the time that these really good brands like Hilton, they say, hey, your PIP is due, or you have to go through a renovation. Again, you agreed to do that. That's part of the agreement to be a franchisee. And man, 7 years is a very long time when you have maybe 120 little houses upstairs that are occupied 4 or 5 times a week, you could see the wear and tear. So the cleanliness that is fully in control of the operators. And so a 96 and a 99, that is insanely good. You guys should be so proud. So proud, Evelyn. Nice job. Woo!
That's because Evelyn's in charge. She
Well,
gets it done.
Well, Evelyn's got her own property, and then she also took over more properties this past year. And so, she's a very responsible person, so I'll speak for you there. I mean, that's a big deal. And so a lot of things can fall behind when you have more than one property. It's like, how many kids you got? I got 2 kids. Oh, yeah, I have 9 kids. Well, you can only spend as much time with everyone. There's a lot of love there, but yeah, it's that's pretty cool. So we were going to talk through a little bit about that QA if we wanted to, Evelyn, but I just wanted to give you a shout out to say nice job with that. You've had a lot of change in your life, and you're also a mom, right? And you have a lot going on personally, and to get a big win like that, you should be really proud.
Very, very. I mean, I'll add too that Hilton is very big on cleanliness. I think all brands are big on cleanliness, but Marriott is more big on service to me. So service can fail your hotel in the Marriott brand. Back when I was with Marriott, it was 40% on service, 30% condition. I want to say 20%,
Condition is the term, yeah.
20% cleanliness and 10% on brand standards. So having the wrong person on the second shift, so that's when they most of the time check in, could fail your whole hotel. 40% of service, it could fail you.
Wow.
So I appreciate Marriott because they got me used to staying ready. That's what I say, stay ready so you don't have to get ready, because you had to you never knew when they were coming. And your second shift person had to be top notch. But I get that because that's when most people are checking in, right? So that's the face of your hotel. If that person is not friendly, that intent to recommend score can go douche. And if it goes down, then you're gonna lose business. Hilton, on the other hand, is still the same almost, but it's cleanliness for them. If they find one thing in the room, it's the whole room fails.
Wow.
It's the previous guest. I mean, it could be a bottle of water, it could be a cup of water, it could be a rubber band, it could be a penny. That's evidence of previous guests, and that room failed.
Wow. That's strict.
So, as Adam says, we're based off of cleanliness, condition, brand standards. Those are the 3 areas that we have: cleanliness, condition, and brand with the Hilton brand. And it keeps
Evelyn, my first general manager position, I was at a Hampton Inn, and I still remember the first and last name of my QA inspector. This is almost 20 years ago. He's very well known, very good man, but it was like a swear word for me. His name.
Yeah.
I failed my first QA as a first-time general manager. I had a lot of excuses, but at the end of the day, it wrecked me. But it got me better because it basically gave me a checklist to be like, you have to do better, and here's how. I mean, I use that as a tool to gather the team together. But yeah, that was always on my. I was in the red, but we got out of the red, and that was during the time that Hampton Inn just started to give hot food in the breakfast. And so all my temperatures were all out of whack, and it wasn't safe. That's not good. So, we got better.
That's how you work.
Bro, what software maybe development or agile space in Scrum and project management? What is QA? I don't know if you had the same thing like franchising, but like I was just Evelyn. I was just telling my brother about, and you know this, but I'm part of a team that has a fully independent hotel up in Northwest Illinois called the Irish Cottage Inn and Suites, and it's fully independent. And so I love it because that means the team is responsible for the QA, right? So if I go up there and visit, I got my I'm not calling it a QA, but I got my QA hat on. I'm taking a lot of notes, whereas I might not be taking as many notes if it's a franchise property, because I think it's helpful, right? And so, bro, how does QA, quality assurance, inspections, and stuff relate to maybe software development?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's actually very similar. A lot of times they call it QA for a long time, quality assurance. A lot of companies now are calling it QE, quality engineering, but it's the same thing. It's the quality checkpoints. The difference is in the software and more technology industries. It's typically a gate of an audit or quality check before it gets released to the customer. Whereas in the hospitality space, you're always in front of the customer. So it's a point in time audit of the quality level. But in software, typically it's we want to do our quality assurance before we release it to the customer. You can't be perfect though. It's just like in a hotel QA. I think in a hotel QA, from what you both described, it's a lot more stringent, meaning that there's a lot of checklist items. In a technology or software company, you want to do enough checklist items to make sure that you're reducing the risk of something going bad if you give it to the customer. But you can't sit there and test everything 9 ways to Sunday, because then you're going to be too slow. And the goal is to move fast. So it's like test enough and quality and QA check enough. So enough of a checklist that you have confidence putting it into the customer's hands. And if for some reason something goes wrong or backwards or something blows up, you need a way to like reverse it real quick to back up where you were, because software is always advancing the bar or whatever. They're always like, here's a new feature, here's a new whatever. Just like, you're all familiar with like Netflix and Spotify and all these different companies. They're always releasing new features and things like that.
So what is so with in the example of a piece of software technology, in the example of a hotel, right? That's a franchise. So that outside entity that kind of writes the QA, and the owner or the franchisee agrees to abide by those standards. Does a software company have an outside entity that's fully independent, or is this QA done internally?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So the QA is usually done internally, and what holds them accountable to be good, and this is where it's totally different than hospitality, it becomes the brand. So their brand, their reputation is based on how the customers receive what they're giving, what they're selling. So if their quality or QA is poor, and yes, they're checking it internally, it's on them because their reputation is going to suffer. If their quality stays high and they're delivering a lot of value to the customers and their relationship is good with the customers, then so it's a very transparent, open system. And the instead of a franchise, it's more of their brand reputation that's always on the line. And it's up to, that's why leaders such as yourselves in industry are so important in order to command the culture and define the culture for the people in the company who are doing the quality assurance, who are building the product, who are interacting with the customer, because that's all on them. If you have a poor culture and you're not taking care of your people and your QA process is poor, well, your brand reputation is going to suffer, and eventually if you're public, your stock price is going to go down. You'll go out of business. You'll get bought, right? There's a lot of things that can happen. So it's just like in hospitality. There's a lot on the line, but it's different stuff on the line.
I'll give you I'll add in another entity, and that is third-party hotel management. And so you have an owner that becomes the franchisee of a Hampton Inn.
Yep.
Hampton Inn is with Hilton, and they wrote the SOPs to say, hey, Mr. Owner, franchisee, Mrs. Owner, you got to have these standards, and we're going to send in a QA inspector, and you don't have to get an outstanding, but you better pass. And if you don't pass a couple times, you're out. The third-party hotel management company is who the franchisee, the owner, hires to manage the property and to employ the people on the property, which a lot of people, general public, don't know that. And so they don't call it QA. What they call it is SOPs.
But
right?
it's on
So
them, is what you're saying. If they
and so an example of that is they're the employer, so you better have some pretty strong human resources SOPs for your hiring process, for your onboarding. And if you don't, that is your brand, and you won't get hired by the franchisees. You won't get, you start getting, if you can't hold on to good people, you can't retain top talent. And it has to do with the fact that you don't have these SOPs and you are not keeping them at a very high level, standard operating procedures, right?
wow, that's a big deal.
It's a really big deal. And a lot of times those SOPs, it sounds like a lot, but a management company that employ people at the property level, right? And then you get Hilton comes in that does a QA. A lot of times I think it's smart to do this. The SOP on the management side has it written in there of how you are to treat the QA process and the quality assurance internally. Like Evelyn said, QA ready every day. It's not just QA ready, when you hear that when you're due for a QA, right? Because that's very obvious that it's not. A good example is they say it's an apple a day keeps the doctor away. You can't eat 7 apples on Sunday and expect to get the right results.
Exactly.
Evelyn, does that does the term SOP have a positive thought for you, or do you think SOP and it's like this big monster of something that you got to do?
I mean, I'm a woman of structure, so I think SOP is needed. Standard operating procedures. If you don't have, and I'm a athlete, so it's just like playing basketball. You have to call plays to win the game. So
That's right.
To me, it's just really calling plays, having timeouts. So I add additional memos to any company I come to. I got gossip memos, dress code memos, time memorandum. These are mine. I carry from hotel to hotel. So I got extra stuff on top of the company SOP. From now on, SOPs are great.
What does your gossip memo sound like?
Oh well, I can read it to you, but basically, it's to the point to where mental health is real. And sometimes people can come to work and it was going to be their last day living. They may have thought, hey, it's just like guest checking into our hotel. Especially when you're in a hotel. I've had 2 properties that sat in the parking lot of hospitals. You got to have empathy when you're running a property that's connected to a hospital. You got children in the neonatal division. You got people in hospice. You can't just treat them any kind of way, right? So
that's right.
That's the same thing with employees. We have guests that's coming in, and they be coming to your hotel, believe it or not, to blow their brains out. You never know.
That's real.
And so you have some employees that was probably said today is my last day living. So what we do at the workplace, how we treat people at the workplace, what we say to them at the workplace, that could help a situation to hurt it. Now, not being hypocritical, but I still have to hold people accountable, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm not in the business of targeting people or being unfair either. So if I say something to one person, I'm gonna say it to all people, right? But far as gossiping and telling this person's business and that person's business, it's just a memo. It's a memo that tells what gossip is, and it says spread and trivial rumors or facts. It can be facts, but it's just not your business, right? So it has steps 1 through 6. What you want, what we won't do, and we're gonna enter into a gossip-free zone. I don't want anybody's last.
Oh, Evelyn, we lost you.
I don't want anybody.
Are you there? Oh, there she is.
I don't want anybody's last day to be because of my staff.
Yeah.
Something they wrote on Facebook or something they said. Because unfortunately, a lot of times we're in places where everybody knows everybody. So it could be true things. Unfortunately, I don't want to hear about it at the hotel, and my team gets documented for that.
Yeah, and an outstanding QA doesn't happen in a vacuum. it doesn't happen unless somebody like Evelyn takes it seriously, because gossip is another one is a social media SOP. Like, how do you handle social media? Is what was happening with me, and it probably happened with you too, Evelyn, was, the hospitality industry is a bit unique. We call each other family, and so a lot of times we treat each other like family, or friends, but yet we're coworkers, and it might be a supervisory relationship. Maybe they get into a romantic relationship. Is there an SOP that says that you can do that or you can't do that? Or if you want to do that, how do you communicate that? That all happened when social media, Facebook, started to get really popular, say 15 to 20 years ago. And we as in the industry didn't have a lot of rules that said you can't talk about work or your employment on Facebook. And I'm not saying that that's a good thing or bad thing. It just, when people started to say, like, I was just fired, or I just got into an argument, and this is what happened at my place of work. It happened a lot in the hospitality and hotel industry because it's a fairly emotional place to work. You got to be emotionally safe and all that. So, and then all the SOPs started to come out. You can do this. This is okay. You can't do this. And if this happens, then this next thing happens. There's a lot of writing involved, and I will say it's. I've said this before, so I still think it's true. The hardest thing to do in particularly the hotel industry is that these management companies, bro, they might be based. The management company head office, corporate office, might be in Atlanta, and they might have 50. The average company has like 25 or 30 hotels that they manage. The average is 4 or 5 different states that they manage in. So they got employees all over maybe the Southeast, and usually all over the United States. And then some of them even grow internationally. So the hardest thing to do is maintaining those standards at a very high level of excellence, and respect and honor in various locations.
Do they have their own standards in addition to the SOPs of the franchises?
The franchises have their QA, and that an example would be what Evelyn was saying with the cleanliness, the condition, and they have their standards of like training material that you must comply with. The SOPs that I was referring to is more about the employment and human resources, and all the other things that you have to do. And even managing a building,
So that's management.
That's the management company that is hired by the owners / franchisee that hired the third party management company. Sometimes it's the same group. Sometimes it's the franchisee ownership group that also manages. So you can imagine it gets a little bit conflicting. It can be a lot, but it can be conflicting, or it could be beautiful. But it is very difficult. And I would say, Evelyn, I'm not blowing smoke. I'm not blowing your hair back. People like Evelyn, who take all of these things seriously, there's reasons why she got promoted in the last year. There's reasons why she's got, when we invited her on the podcast for our second episode, when I said, hey, we want to celebrate and honor you, and she didn't say, oh my God, I'm so excited. She goes, who else can I invite on? Yeah, and then 9 people came on.
9 people coming on just to talk about how Evelyn helped them in their career, help bring them up, help raise them up, make them a person who moves. Right?
So these people who move, that people like Evelyn need to be multiplied into this particular industry, because it makes everybody's life easier and it makes everybody safer.
Yeah.
All those quality assurance, when you get more outstanding quality assurance exams out there, then, frankly, people are safer. There's check that out.
Wow.
Hold one of those up a little bit closer. Can you? Oh, it's backwards. That says 2016.
Yeah, it might be.
There you go. That way. That way.
Ascent Hospitality, 2016.
That's awesome. So Ascent Hospitality, they're the franchisee and the management group, and that was in Tupelo Courtyard. Is that Courtyard by Marriott?
Most improved QA. So this is a little story, and this is is it
Ooh.
backwards? Is that backwards?
No, that's good. It's forward. Yep. You got that.
Okay.
Outstanding
This is
QA
the
achievement, and the other one was most improved?
Yeah, so this is a Fairfield Marriott. This is a Courtyard Marriott. And Adam will tell you how hard that is. Marriott's. Again, you don't know when they come in. This person can only, the same person can only audit you every 3 years. So it won't be the same person.
Wow.
Just have to stay ready. That Courtyard was a 20-year-old property. I mean, old. And our company gave away 3 awards. We had 34 hotels. I was the only dual GM at that time. Dual means over 2 properties, right? I got 2 out of 3 awards. So 2 came to hotels, 1 went to somebody else. And those also, we could talk about this. They come with losing friendships and losing family members, because in Tupelo is where I grew up. So I knew everybody, right, since I was a kid. So it was, he's a different person on that job. No, it's not. I'm a different person. This is my career.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're serious.
Everything ain't hee hee ha ha funny in here, right? I always tell them that until the job, there's no fun when the job ain't done.
There's no fun when the job ain't done.
There's no fun. So, you know what we done, we had not had a renovation at this point at my Courtyard, but we had actually been failing QAs. We had failed, I didn't fail the QA, but for the 2 prior to when I came there had been failed. What did we do? First of all, allow the guests. People will buy a box if you sell it to them correctly. They buy experiences. They don't buy a hotel room, right? So number 1, your staff got to have the right attitude. Number 2, there's no excuses. Like Adam said earlier, I had excuses, but I had to go ahead and do what I had to do. I had to just make this checklist and keep on going, right? There's no excuses to not trying, right? But us as leaders, we got to start reading these QAs to the team. That's just like when you take a test, a biology test. You don't take it without studying, right? So you have to study. So what I would do is give my team, and give my team their part of the QA. Hey, front desk failed, and this is why. Housekeepers failed, this is why. Operators a lot of times want to hide those from them because they don't want to show them failure. But until you show them failure, you're going to keep on failure. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because they don't have directives. They don't have any plays. You're not calling any timeouts.
So you brought transparency to it, Evelyn. It sounds like you brought transparency to it. You just showed everybody, this is what we're going after. This is what we did wrong last time. How are we going to work together to make this better, right? It's very empowering. You have to, Matt, to your point, you have to tell people why. If you're a leader that says do, they're not going to do it all the time because you're not telling them why. Hey, you need to have on your name tag. Why do you need to have on your name tag? Because it's 32 points off of the QA. Wow. It's 16 points here, and then 16 points again. Woo. All right. What is QA? Well, QA keeps us a Marriott, or QA keeps us a Hilton, or will be a Marriott or a Hilton. Right? They will take their flag if you can't keep it consistent in what their quality assurance reads, and you can't keep those standards in place. You won't fly their flag. It's just that simple. Wow. And like I break down for them, if the flag stop flying, Evelyn don't have a job. And Evelyn's not losing her job. That's right. So we do things this way. And I think that's why a lot of us fail, because we don't involve our team. You can't win no game without a team. There's no sport that you can win, maybe golfing, but I'm pretty sure they still got to have somebody coaching or doing something for them. Everybody needs somebody out here, basically. I love how you involve the people, Evelyn. It's so important. And a lot of times people in industry, hospitality, everywhere, they think about oh, we're gonna hire Evelyn for this job because she meets the criteria and she has this experience, blah blah blah. But in reality, a lot of the value that you offer is your interactions with the people, your ability to, and I know Adam does this too because I've watched him over the years, your ability to go into a situation and say, wow, how can I turn this around from failing QA to passing QA and being most outstanding, highest, highest improvement, most improved. That takes a lot more than anything on a resume, anything you can talk to. That's like walking into, like as a teacher or kindergarten teacher, you walk in on the first day, you got 25-year-old students, and you got to figure out how to get them through all the curriculum. There's a million things you got to figure out how to do, how to involve, and just like you do that. So I just wanted to make that point to anybody watching or listening, that there's a lot of things that are really important that you do with your interactions with people, your ability to empower people, your ability to uplift people, right? So they can say, oh, I'm just a front desk agent. No, you are the front desk agent. You have a lot of responsibility here. You're going to be accountable for this. You're going to be accountable for that. We're going to work together to make this grow and to make it most improved. So I think it's amazing. And I don't think those soft skills, those people skills get talked about enough in any industry, but they're really, really important, and they make the difference. Because I don't care how smart you are, how good you are, if you don't have those skills to work together as a team, as you're saying, to uplift your team, to grow your team, all these beautiful people you're showing here, that's what makes the difference. Because like you said, no one does it alone. No one does it alone. So I just wanted to commend you for your amazing talent. I've seen my brother do it too. Years ago, my brother was known as, or from my perspective outside the industry, he was known as the turnaround guy. He would get thrown into a hotel situation, just like I'm sure you have been, Evelyn. And it's like, okay, well, we need someone to make this hotel is going to lose its flag, franchise flag. We got to send Adam in there. And then for 6 months, I don't hear from my brother because he's just working his magic, doing his stuff, stressed out of his mind, probably working all that stuff. And then guess what? Boom. Now they're most improved. Now they're on the top of the list. There's a lot of stuff that happens in that little black box of those 6 months. And it has a lot to do with your ability to work with people, to uplift people, and to leverage the team, everybody around you. It's not about one person. It's not about the leader. It's about everybody, like rising the tide for everybody. Everybody gets up higher. So it's brilliant. And when you're done, when you got to that most improved state, it's absolutely amazing because now you have a group of people and an organization that's shown that you can win, shown that you can do it right, you can do it better. And so anyway, I think it's amazing. I don't think there's one way to do it. I think it's a very creative, innovative process. And I think it's always different. I've seen it happen in the software world. The two of you are very experienced in the hospitality world, but it's not easy. It takes patience, and it takes a lot of focus and a lot of discipline. And as you were talking about, like the standards, you got to meet the standards, but you got a lot of people. Standards make things complicated. So you want to work together. And I love how you said the quote, "If it's not done, we're not having fun," or whatever you said. I think that was good.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's
if there's no If there's no fun, the job ain't done.
The job ain't
Is that
done.
what Yeah.
There's no fun. Exactly how it goes.
There is no fun when the job ain't done. Yeah.
There you go.
And I'm probably one of the goofiest managers, but people don't see that. I tell people all the time, what's your secret? I walk in hard, eat up later. If I'm walking into a property and struggling, I'm not going to walk in like, oh, yeah, y'all are doing so great. Just keep doing the same thing. You got to make some changes.
Yeah. It's changing.
These are some of the little things, Matt, and and this goes back to when Evelyn and I first met. You know, it's and I've shared that I did a digital engagement study specifically about LinkedIn back. It's 8 years ago now, and I'll reshare it on LinkedIn. But Evelyn, I did an analysis. I spent on my own. I looked at every hotel management company that I could find on LinkedIn, and I counted for the previous 12 months how many times they posted a picture of employees at the property level for whatever reason, celebrating an award or something. And the most that they did in a year was something like 40. And that was a large company that had something like 80 hotels. And we, as in the industry, are still not embracing digital engagement as it relates to recognizing the passion and the people. So Matt, when you say to come in there like Evelyn does and to really hold high standards, you mentioned little things. It is the little things, and this is a little thing to maybe you and me, but it's a huge thing. This is a post on LinkedIn that Evelyn made just a week ago, because they are spoiled rotten. This is her family. I'm her team members, right? I mean, this is the people that you work with. Obviously, this little man right here is not one of your front desk agents. He's a family member of one of your front desk agents. Maybe a future hospitality leader. So cute. But good for you. For you could easily say, family's not allowed. What if somebody gets hurt? What if I don't know. What if somebody gets sick? What if somebody drops something on the floor? It just you do it anyway, and I think that this is a way, Evelyn. And let me ask you this: when you walk into a property and in your mind it's a level 2 out of 10, and you got a lot of work to do, you're not doing this every day, not yet. You're getting up to the level of standards, and then doing things like this to recognize the hard work, because there is like, put on the gloves, put your head down, get the work done. And like you said, there ain't no fun until the job is done.
That's true.
I'm going to get that quite, you know what I mean? And that's hard work. So this is you like celebrating, and you're not only recognizing, but you're celebrating. And, this is all over. That's our podcast there.
That's a Q&A.
10 points over last year. This is from,
last year.
Oh, last year. Wow. Look at that. This is so cool. So good for you for recognizing all this digitally on LinkedIn. I think it's beautiful for the industry. I think it gets people very excited about that. I'm doing something tomorrow, Evelyn. I wanted to ask you before we go. I wanted to ask you about Boss Women on a Mission, and I also wanted to share a little bit about what I'm doing tomorrow and the next day. Is I've been spending a lot of time with a high school organization called DECA, DECA.org, and please look them up, DECA.org, if y'all are listening and watching this. They're an organization that is kind of sits above high schools and colleges, and it's a competition. Okay, so I get to be a judge. Not full-time, but regularly I go visit the local high school. It's a very large high school near me in the Charlotte area. And I'm their like coach and advisor to help them prepare for their written test and also their role-playing scenario that they have to present an idea to, or a problem that they need to solve. And so Thursday afternoon and Friday morning, I'm going to be sitting down as a role-playing judge, where I'm given a scenario to be in. So I might be. They do have hospitality, hotels, and tourism, and I usually sign up for the hotel and lodging. But they have retail, financial analysis, business, entrepreneurship, marketing, sports event marketing. It's just an awesome organization. So I might sign up for something other than hotels and hospitality because it just helps me learn more and get better. But I might be like the owner of a sports team, like an NBA team. And we just had like something happen that people are starting to complain. This is a real one that I had to sit in. The public is starting to complain that it was an NFL team, that our name is offensive, like our mascot is offensive, which that happened and still happens. And then I needed to meet with, so I was the team owner, and the role playing, I had thousands of students are going to be at this place tomorrow and Friday, and I'll meet with probably about 100 of them for 10 minutes at a time. Wow. They are given a scenario with 10 minutes to prep. They don't know what the scenario is. Then they have to walk up to a stranger, somebody like me, and present their ideas.
Nice.
And they have to, the best of them write up little visuals and graphs and do some studying. Some of them are team events. So anyways, I'm doing that the next couple of days, and I might do a quick impromptu broadcast, bro, and record it.
Yeah.
If there's some teachers and high school students that want to join there, but I'm going to be doing some promoting, because I think that this is, when you say little things, I'm doing a little thing that is a big deal, because I'm listening and I'm watching, I'm observing these young people, man, and I am getting more education than I have in the past 20 years, listening to them and watching them, and I'm learning their language, and I'm learning what they're into. So I get a lot out of it personally, but believe me, I'm there, rah, the hotel and hospitality food service industry, because they all see my name, they all see what I do, and I am allowed to give out business cards and just leave them off to the side to get them excited about what I do and get excited about this industry. And I've been successfully doing a little bit of like soft recruiting. So that's legal. We can do that. But I'm very enthusiastic about what I do. So that's what I'm doing over the next couple of days. So you guys, heads up, I'm going to be doing that. And I'll do some promoting of DECA, and we've had some younger people on our show. We've had Tyler Short. We've had my nephew, your son, Michael Zembruski, and quite a few other people. So and we'll have more. But to the one thing that I wanted to ask Evelyn about was Boss Women on a Mission. We talked a lot about your nonprofit, your empowering women to empower women mission statement at Boss Women on a Mission. But that was our second episode, and now we're on episode number 41. How's Boss Women on a Mission doing? What's up?
We're still doing our thing, our annual blood drive. Thank you, Adam, for going to give blood last year. You did it for us. Our annual blood drive is March the 23rd. We still meet monthly. We have our Black History program this Saturday, where we're all dressed up and celebrate Black History. I'll be doing a lot of cooking for that too.
Nice.
One young lady came in and said she had been in depression 5 years, and she found the answer she needed just in that session. She felt better already. So,
Wow.
It's bigger than what it seems, because it's not any monetary gains, but to me it's just mental gains. It's positive mental health gains. So we're still doing our quarterly community service events. We do more than quarterly, actually. Last year we did the blood drive, where they said that was the most blood they had gotten in over 6 months. Helped save 52 lives. Adam, you helped. So I think it was 3 lives per person, something like that.
Yeah, that's right. That was so cool, and that is also the power of LinkedIn and connections and everything that we do with our friends. Because I would not have done that with so much urgency if I wasn't watching you and listening to you and texting. And so very small thing. Can I ask you what I was speaking engagements? I think that is an unappreciated or maybe undervalued interaction as it relates to all nonprofits, but specifically when you're talking about Boss Women on a Mission, empowering women to empower women, and you and your co-founders and your members. I mean, we've shared the pictures, we've shared some of your events. Y'all are great speakers and very inspirational to, for example, a young girl. To see someone like you up there speaking, talking about whatever you want to talk about, it's so inspirational. And that's the hardest thing to do, is to inspire somebody just by being there, right? And that's what you do. So maybe it's local, maybe it's not local, but we all work for companies, Southeast and nationally. If somebody did want to, book, is there a process if somebody wanted to contact you, Boss Women on a Mission, to be like, you know what, I want to pay you or pay someone there, I'll fly you out here to come speak at a conference. hotel companies love conferences, right? And but I think that that's an undervalued thing that needs to be done a lot more often than hiring some executive, not hiring, but like having some executive talk about their rise individually. I'd much rather, hear someone like you. So how does somebody get a hold of you or Boss Women on a Mission? Is it an email? How does that all work?
Our email is bosswomenonamission@gmail.com. They could contact me too. Our Facebook group is Boss Women on a Mission Southern Division. Boss Women on a Mission Southern Division. It's a picture of different cultures, hands, because it's not just a Black women empowerment group, it's for all women from different backgrounds, different ethnicities. So that's what it is. One of our members, Lavenzia King, she's on LinkedIn as well. She's the general manager for McNeil. Hey, Lavenzia. She's on our board.
India.
Her daughter is 15, and she drew that picture and won first or second place at the school. That picture is at the front of the school in Tennessee.
Wow.
So we do speak. We have not been charging anybody for speaking. But if it's travel required, we probably would ask for the flight. So at this point, we're just doing it for free, just doing it because we love it. 3 of us, me and Tanya Moore, Keisha Williams. Keisha is a licensed mental health counselor. Tanya, you met Tanya. She was on the last. That's my cousin. She is her and her husband own a church, empowerment center as well. And they do homeless. They feed the homeless. They do showers for the homeless every Saturday and Monday. They feed the homeless. They've been doing it for 5 years out of their pocket. They're paying to do it.
It's amazing. Is there an easy way to donate? Should they email this or is it the, I got the Boss Women on a Mission SD for Southern Division at gmail.com, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Cool. And then the website, or if you have a donate page, something like that?
Well, I'm working on that. We have a website. I don't like it. So I'm working on that website to get it to where I like it a little more. We have pictures on there. We have a donate button on there, but I do not like that website. So I will get that back to you.
That's okay. We got, we've since started our own nonprofit called the Hospitality Industry Impact Initiative. So if somebody wants to go to hospitalityimpact.org, we have I will find a way. If you want to make a donation there, I'll find a way to send it all over to Boss Women on a Mission. So just type in BWOAM on your note and put Evelyn on the note, and we'll send it all over there to you.
Thank you.
When we first had you on, our hospitality nonprofit was not created yet. So I'm really excited to work with you, to partner between nonprofits. So many ways that we can interact and help each other and promote the mission. Because it's all the same thing. I mean, there is no for-profit companies, nonprofit. It's all just, if you got a mission that aligns with somebody's heart and mind, then just reach out, start working together, and then move. People who move.
Love it. And all 3 of us are people who move.
That's right.
But we will continue to give back as much as we can. We spoke at I spoke to 42 cheerleaders last year. The news came in Jackson, Tennessee.
Very cool. Yeah, and it's so good. And I think it's a great opportunity also for personal branding. Okay, so individuals that we've talked about this, a lot of social capital, a great reputation, a lot of trust developed, and are working. Like they're working their tails off and they're doing these things and they're moving.
Yep.
The personal branding, I think, is going to be the next, particularly for the hospitality industry, where is the greatest opportunity for anybody, hourly workers, salary, managers, front desk agents, housekeepers. If you got an idea, that you want to move forward, you can start a social media page, you can start your personal branding, and you can increase the value. and resumes are going to be a thing of the past, right? And it's all about your own personal individual branding. And so when you increase that trust, I think it's a huge opportunity. And so a lot of that has to do with public speaking. And so, Evelyn, the first time that you got up and to speak in front of anybody, I'm sure you had it was like failing a QA. It was for me, you know what I mean? But then you got better. I still bomb a little bit. I overtalk the way that I'm doing it right now. And so, but I think public speaking, using things like comedy and improv, training that you do every day at a hotel, when you're outside of a hotel, those are the next opportunities for anybody. And I think that does speak to the youth. I think that speaks to people that are more, I don't know, like a shaken up Coke bottle with the top still on. They're like, I want to do something. It's like, you know what? You can do something. And I think that creativity is going to be the answer there. So I love the idea about even if no money involved. I think that people should be paid for their time, of course. But, even if somebody, you want to have somebody come talk to your company, and they might not be have their own website, their own professional public speaking brand. Just have them come and talk, answer questions, do a Q&A, find out what's on their mind, and have them do some Q&A for you. An informational interview with no expectation to give or get anything. More interaction like that, I think, is going to help everyone rise together. That's my final speech of the day.
Love it.
And I want to give a shout out to Mr. Charles Fry because he always includes us in his nonprofit.
Yeah.
He was recognized today from the radio station for Black History Month. He's doing a lot of moving and shaking. Braided 400 kids' hair, back to school drive. So, he helps a lot, helps me a lot, helps us a lot, and keep us on the right track. And he has me speaking to his classes because he teaches financial literacy to colleges. So
check him out. So check out Charles Fry, CNI Solutions.
There he is.
Huntsville, Alabama, right?
Yes, that's one of his financial literacy classes probably there.
It's amazing.
You'll see on there where he just got recognized. I think he posted it today. That's a filler. I'm using the word. I guess I'm getting it.
Where is it? Celebrating 4 years.
You go down and scroll down a little bit, see his activity, show all posts.
Yep.
Top one, right?
That one right there.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Nice.
Love it.
Make that bigger, hold on.
Yeah, he does a lot.
We Are American History, Charles Fry, celebrating Black History Month. Oh, is that there on the radio station, 941 WHRP?
Yes.
Oh, there it is. Recognizing those who are making a difference. Black History Month, we have shared the stories of people here in the Tennessee Valley that are making a difference. Mr. Charles Fry is the president of CNI Solutions, 501c3 nonprofit, educates entrepreneurs at every stage of starting, operating, managing, and running a successful business that will create economic growth. Sign me up.
Yeah, let's go.
So great that he was recognized for that. Yeah, we had him on. I had a one-on-one chat with him shortly after that, the Braidathon.
Yes.
It was one of the most beautiful things I ever heard of. I thought that just beautiful. And he told me some stories about some young girls that were, and how important that was to them in their life and their culture and their confidence. It's just amazing.
I was there. Like I said, he includes Boss Women on a Mission on everything. He includes, I was there, I helped.
Thanks, Charles. Good work, man. Good work.
We cried. We had tears in our eyes because it was so beautiful.
That's the best. That's the best.
Celebrate that. Well, we are LinkedIn Live, and we will finish up here. I'm going to stop sharing.
Well, brothers, much love to y'all, of course.
Much love to you, and you spending this time with us, talking about you and your life and your family and your team, Evelyn. It's very inspirational to us, and you're sharing it with the world. And what I originally said was it'd be great if we could multiply your passion and your spirit. And I think that you do that automatically. Thanks for spending this time. And we know how busy you are. You probably have another QA to prep for every day.
I do. I got
But
two
thanks for
more
talking
to
about, looking under the hood of the hospitality hotel industry. You're so good at that. And so you're good at explaining these, the ins and outs, and because it affects if anybody that's ever stayed at a hotel or eaten at a restaurant, to be honest. I mean, we're talking to the world. And so thanks for sharing your love for everything, and congratulations on your recent successes. And we will, we end it on there. Okay. So thank you so much. We, happy day. We're going to have you on again very soon, I hope.
I'll be there.
Okay.
Thank you, Evelyn. You're the best. Congratulations.
Y'all are the best. I got that from my daughter, my 3-year-old. She does.
Boom. You're the best.
Shout out to your daughter.
Thank you. Have a good
Bye-bye.
day.